That's a good question. I don't know if I have a hometown. I have a home state. My home state was Maine, Northeast.
Northeast, yeah.
Above, like, New England, or my home territory.
Uh-huh. Maybe
My father asked that question for many years. I mean, part of it is I married a girl from New York. My wife is from New York City.
Oh, she's a real New Yorker.
She's a New Yorker. I mean, she has a lot of roots here. And for me, I don't really have any roots because I moved around so much. So, and also, you know, she has a very good career. You know, she's very successful, but she couldn't do her job in another place. We tried, and it wasn't good. You know, in some ways, I guess New York has become my hometown,
right.
But it was never really something like. A lot of people dream about coming to New York. I never dreamed about it. I never was like, I want to live in New York. I mean, I guess I am now, but you know, for me, New York feels like a small town after a while. I mean, at least me personally. I don't know about other people, but I tend to go in the same circle. I go to the same places, I go to the same shops and the same restaurants. And I mean, I've lived here 20 years. There's places in Manhattan I've never been to. And I may never go. There's just no reason for me to go there. There's a lot of New York that I have never seen before. It's really not a priority for me to see it. Yeah, we moved a couple years ago. We moved to North Carolina. We bought a house, but that's all we had was a big house. Really good jobs.
Yeah.
There was no real culture. There's a lot of trade-off with New York. You get a lot, but you lose a lot. Yeah, it is kind of a land of opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think for a lot of people, once they leave New York, they realize how entwined New York is to their life. I mean, I'm not one of those people, like, I love New York, like, New York is amazing. New York is, you know, there's a lot of great things and there's a lot of not so great things. But when I was away from it, I realized how much I wanted to be back in it. That's sort of a very difficult thing to understand or explain, because it wasn't like I wanted to go back because I loved it so much, because this new place didn't work for me. I think one thing I've always felt about New York is a very unique city in many ways. I mean, New York is one of the few big cities where you can see a blue sky.
Right.
And I've had people tell me that, like, oh my God, like, I can't believe, like, I can see a blue sky in New York. I mean, that wasn't always like that. New York, I think, is also one of the few cities, or one of the only cities, where no matter where you come from, you can be a New Yorker. I could go to a different city, you know, whether it's LA or Boston or Philly, Miami, Chicago. I will never be, I don't even know what they're called, a Chicagoian or a Miamian, or I don't think you can just become that city person. But in New York, I feel like you can, no matter where you're coming from.
Right.
Because everybody came, or as everybody's coming from somewhere.
Right.
New York is one of those cities where even if you're just here for a year or 2 years, you're basically a New Yorker.
Yeah, I made the card.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, you are officially a New Yorker. You got a New York ID card,
Right.
But I mean, I think also kind of just in your feeling, it's like, well, this is my city. I mean, I lived in Beijing. I lived in Delhi, You know, I've lived in other cities in America. I never felt like I was a person of that city.